are here as the head coaches. Their teams made it to the championship a year ago with Jago besting Hinton as the Sidekicks won the title. We are all set for the kickoff. The East in the red and white and the West in the blue and white, with the East taking the kickoff. Chinipu to Haskavy. Across midfield, Kai Haskavy, the third leading scorer in the history of the MISL behind Segota number 2, and you guessed it, Jungle number 1. Haskavy looking for Savage cutting through, and it's stopped there by the goalkeeper. Told Savage wearing a different uniform, number 99, his number 22, and you'll find that that's the case with a couple of other players, was taken, and I think Doc Lawson has earned the right to wear number 22 since he is one of only 3 original players still playing in this league. And our first stoppage in play as that ball goes out of play. There'll be a free kick coming up. We look at Daryl Duran. It is 3rd All-Star appearance despite being only 24 years of age. A lot of young stars in the MISL.
And Daryl may be the scorer of the goal of the year in the MISL this year. There's a season still got a long way to go, but a great goal he scored against Tacoma. Right here, I think, actually.
In St. Louis, but against Tacoma.
Yeah.
They televised it here, though, so it's just as devastating for the people watching that one. On the right side, Savage will be picked up by Kevin Crow. Marhetic slips on the turf, but gets it free along the boards. Craig Allen, twice better than 50 goals a year. Right across, but Marhetic wasn't in deep enough to bang it home. Preki with a touch. He'll get the crowd going. Moves to the outside on Chinipu. Preki on the cutback inside, and Chinipu doesn't buy that fake with a good tackle. Out to Chris White. White will take it back in from the Los Angeles Lasers. Chris White gave it up on the right side. Intended for Rasmussen, our MISL Offensive Player of the Week, and now it's back to Vaccaro. Rolling into an ex-teammate, Craig Allen. They teamed up together for some big goals with Vaccaro in the long pass. Here's a quick shot, and it's going to be blocked by Rundved off Hector Marinaro, who's the youngest player in this All-Star game at the age of 23. Hector's parents among many watching tonight's game. Hector's parents hail from Toronto. That's where they're watching this feed. On the left side, Segota playing with a bad left ankle. And the ball is knocked out of play by the East. Last touch by Heinz Wirtz.
Yeah, very questionable all day long, frankly, JP, if Segota was really fit enough to be here and to play. And some last-minute worries, frankly, about whether they might have to find another player. Poli Garcia from St. Louis was in here.
They're going over to a wet spot. That's where Marhetic slipped earlier. Perhaps when they did some work on that logo for the All-Star game, there was a problem, and there's some moisture there. 13-19 to go. It's a scoreless opening quarter. We're at the Tacoma Dome for the 9th annual MISL All-Star Game. We'll be back.
If you don't need Gatorade this winter, maybe you just don't get thirsty.
Gatorade is thirsty, all that deep down body thirst.
And the officiating crew has got that patchwork done, so we'll be set in just a moment. Alan Hinton coaching the West. He's assisted this year by Ron Newman. They were feuding last year. Coach Hinton talked about it.
I think that our feuding has been great for the game, you know, but I think we respect each other. We both know how to win games, and of course, you know, Ron's the most successful coach in the league in the past 5 years or so, and yeah, I respect his winning record, but we do dispute things. I think it's not bad for the game where 2 characters like Ron and I sometimes have a go at each other.
It's Coach Alan Hinton, and he's talking about that man, Ron Newman. Back on the action on the right side. Rasmussen trying to cut inside, knocked away by Armstrong. Chris White came in and it was blocked, and now Vaccaro is there. Long toss. He's a great distributor. He'll find David Byrne shooting it high, and Zoltan Toth got a piece. David Byrne with those magic red shoes on fire this season for the Minnesota Strikers. And now a giveaway back, but Marinaro fell on that turf. Very slippery there.
Yeah,
that's a bad spot.
But you mentioned Byrne to Marinaro. Of course, as you say, that's the Strikers duo, and once again, Gordon Jago trying to at least get a couple of players from the same teams out there together.
Back into the corner, it's Desmond Armstrong. That's usually an all-star strategy because you have so little time to practice, usually just a couple of practice sessions. Davis now to Makeson. There's Chico Borja of the Lasers. 3rd all-star appearance. Chico to the outside, takes it, it's too high. Rebound shot blocked in front. Vaccaro makes the nice save as Clavijo was coming in. Back the other way, Steve Kinsey, his first of what I feel will be many All-Star games as it's cleared all the way back to the feet of Zoltan Toth. In some trouble, gave it up to Clavillo, and it was almost taken away by the East. Back comes the West. Preki maybe with a chance here to the inside on Kevin Smith. Left-footed shot, score! Preki! 1-0 West.
Well, he's been doing that all season long in Tacoma and for this Tacoma club, and you just saw what he did to Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith got into a 1v1 situation with a lot of space behind him, and that's curtains usually because Preki is so lethal. Takes this ball, see him turning Smith in, and now he just got a little bit of space, so he fakes the shot, then fires it, and that ball dipped. That was a bit of a knuckleball and just went right by Vaccaro with like a rocket into the corner. A nice turn into space here, and then the quick shot, and you see it take a bit of a dip, went right under Vaccaro's hands as it got towards him, because I think Chris is going to want to take a look at the tape on that one, as we see Preki looking handsome and debonair at the dinner yesterday.
So it's 1-0. Preki scores first. It'll be his second All-Star goal. Time of the goal, 2 minutes and 58 seconds. Opening quarter of play as Marhetic takes it back on the right. Looking for Kevin Smith. Durant against him in the corner. It hops out. Pato across the way. Craig Allen shooting it. Save. Rebound came out. Allen again from the Cleveland Force, sending it back in, but Toth is right there. He'll leave it off for Kim Rundved. In the history of this game, no defender has more points than number 10, who now plays for Kansas City. Up the right side. Stankovic cutting against Savage. Ex-teammates in Baltimore a year ago. Played in by Preki, and Crow misplays it. Off a deflection to the board. Stankovic. And a whistle sounds that a foul is going to be called in the West, but a great chance that time again for the West.
That's right. A great pass by Preki, JP, because he lined up as though he were going to do his little fake. There you see Stankovic, who scored a great goal last year. But he lined up as though he was going to just try to fake his man and get that shot off, and instead he, while turning, just pushed the ball into Crow, and Crow just wasn't quite ready for it.
Craig Allen being bothered by Clavijo. He's got Marhetic with him, as well as Heinz Wirtz. It's out to Wirtz from the Chicago Sting. Now the doctor, Doc Lawson. Right side it comes Haskevy. Kai Haskevy takes it right side against Stankovic. Around the boards looking for Marhetic. Pato back to get it against Kevin Crow. Pato off the boards looking for someone to break in. And now finally Allen will take it again. Clears it back out. Haskevy, teammates with Allen in Cleveland. In for Marhetic. A 1-0 lead for the West on a Preki goal. Out to Wirtz. Back for Marhetic. Allen. Lawson calls for the ball. Played across. Dangerously picked out by Preki. Haskevy back there, the captain of the East. Jungle will captain the West. That's ironic, and the Jungle resigned his captaincy earlier this year after some conflicts with the Stars. But Alan Hinton named him here on the left side. The East can't make the plays. It's cleared out, but now foul is going to be called. They wanted to see who was going to get an advantage on that. So the foul is called on the West. Haskevy giving it up to Marhetic. They try to give it back for Kai Haskevy. Segota on him. Takes him down. Now Marhetic with it. They're going to say he got ball there. Marhetic to Wirtz in front, and Allen, who is normally very sharp up there, couldn't quite connect. Now Segota from Toth. Toth, by the way, assisted on that Preki goal. Bronco cutting outside, right foot free, and a big save of Vaccaro. Segota's got a bad left foot. Nothing wrong with his right, as he showed you there. He's got an ankle injury, but he may play more than people expected here tonight. Left side boards. Eric Rasmussen, who can cut as well as anyone in this game. Had a 5-goal performance in Sunday's win over LA. 5 goals, 1 assist. In all 6 goals were scored or set up by Rasmussen. In the corner, it's cut off. The East in red, taking up the floor. Victor Moreland, who captains the Dallas Sidekicks. Chased by Rasmussen. Now to Wirtz, and then played back to Chris Vaccaro. He's got David Byrne, number 6 in the league in scoring. The top 5 scorers, by the way, play for the West. Byrne leading it. Chinapu sends it in off the glass, but Zoltan Toth is right there in the perfect carom. 8:50 to go in the opening quarter of play, and the West lead at 1-0. If you're just joining us, Preki, second of the year from Toth. Time of the goal, 2:58. Rick Davis, the captain of the Tacoma Stars, in for Borja. Great shot to save. That's just as great by Vaccaro. Spectacular by Borja.
Wow, what a great, spectacular effort by that man, Chico Borja, and the crowd on its feet applauding that, even though they had booed him during the introductions because of an incident that had taken place here. in a regular league game, which was not very favorable to him. But look at this tremendous shot. Beautifully turned over the top also by Vaccaro, but great Ricky Davis to Borja combination.
West still leading 1-0. Jungle a master on these restarts. Plays it out. Borja shot, score. The West takes a 2-0 lead. Borja from Jungle.
Well, I got to wonder a little bit about defense there, because one thing that the East has going for it is some pretty darn good defensive players. The West, everybody acknowledges, has guys like Chico Borja and others who can really finish them off. But a simple touch here backed by the Maestro, and Borja doesn't even look. He just cracks it, and again, not an awful lot of impressive defending going on there by the East. A lot of space left in there, and Vaccaro beaten to the far post.
Borja at 6:25 from Steve Jungle as we're back in the live action. Chico Borja's second all-star goal. Now it's Dale Mitchell. He got a nice hand when he came out here. He used to play for the Tacoma Stars and was traded even up for Keith Furphy, and Kansas City still happy over that deal. On the left side, Chinapoo. They try to give it back. Richard walks in and he hit the post.
Oh.
That's the kind of season Chinapoo has been having this year, according to the Baltimore
That's
people.
Right. Now, Batata gave him a wonderful return ball, and the kind of shot that Richard normally would bury, and he buried in last year's All-Star game, but not this year.
Borja again, and he's ridden from behind by Chinapoo coming back. Left side now, Batata. Fifth All-Star game, played in 3 with Los Angeles. 5 in a row for Batata. Left side for Steve Kinsey. From the Minnesota Strikers, double teamed in the corner. A 2-0 lead for the West. The East needs to get cranking here. Makes it off the boards, off a touch. Chinapoo coming in. Into the corner, that's Armstrong. And he's broken up by Zoltan Toll. Here's a lead for Jungle, but Lawson is there. Cleared all the way back to the feet of Vaccaro. Jungle going after him. Forces the giveaway. Preki and Jungle. 2-on-1. Preki, score! The West takes a 3-0 lead.
Oh, what a bad mistake by Chris Vaccaro. You got to feel sorry for him, but made a horrendous distribution error. With a lot of time, he allowed himself to be rattled perhaps by Jungle, and gave the ball right up to Preki, who played just a return ball from Jungle and knocked it in.
So Preki will get his second goal of the game and third goal in his short All-Star career. 7:45 is the time. The West in a commanding lead.
Financial Inquiry, a national financial investment cable television program, is offering companies free information on foreign currencies trading using options. Swiss francs, German marks, Japanese yen, and U.S. dollars all change value against each other because of world events, countries' economic changes, political decisions, and inflation. By investing a few $1,000s in options now, you can control $50,000 to $100,000 of foreign currencies. With options, you have a limited preset risk of only your invested money, with unlimited profit potential for the next 3 to 12 months and no margin calls. Options are risky and not for everyone, but they do give you an enormous opportunity for profits without risking any additional money. To get this important investment information on foreign currencies, options, simply call our toll-free 800 phone number now.
As we come back, let's take a look at the mistake.
Well, Vaccaro, Jungle closing in, I mean, he just gives it sort of casually, gives it away. It comes straight to Preki, and Preki, I thought initially he played something, but he did not. He just fired it first, so Jungle did not get an assist, if you will, but he certainly assisted on creating the chance by giving a little bit of extra pressure there to the goalkeeper Vaccaro as we look again. Really a very easy conversion opportunity for Preki after the very bad mistake by Vaccaro. That's tough to see. You hate to see that happen to a keeper. So Preki says if Mr. Jungle is going to be the MVP, he's going to have to work awful hard because I've got 2 in the net already.
Well, that time Jungle worked hard, but Preki gets the point
That's
there
right.
because it was that pressure that forced the giveaway. You notice how quickly, though, Preki got the ball under control. Once he broke it up, he didn't have control at first, but he settled it down in a hurry. And, of course, Vaccaro had to worry about Jungle, even though he had Lawson there as well to help him defend. Now it's Hoskeby. East down 3-0. Left side, Marhetic. Now out for Lawson, who plays now for the Dallas Sidekicks. Third All-Star appearance. His first two were with Philadelphia. That's going back in the first couple of years of the league. Lead pass Preki. They almost sprung Stankovic. Lost it. Looking for Allen. Cleared out. The West far more cohesive than the East at this point. On the left, Crow and Lossenbang. They're taking no prisoners, but Stankovic comes back. Right side to Preki. Here he comes again. 2-on-2. This time going against Lawson, left footer. Then he cuts to the inside. The shot off the post. Preki bidding for an early first quarter hat trick. Haskeby plays it back to Vaccaro.
Boy, and Preki went by Kai Haskeby like Haskeby was just sort of standing glued to the turf there. It was unbelievable out of midfield what he did using the boards.
Haskeby the other way. Now it's Chinapu. Out there with Savage at the back. Now it's Marhetic, number 10. Pato. Cutting left against Crow. Takes him deep off the boards, but it doesn't take the bounce for Craig Allen. And back the other way is Clavijo, slowing things down. Now he sees some room. Turns on the Jets over the line. Lays it off. Rasmussen, left footer, wide of Chris Vaccaro, and headed back smartly by Savage to his goalkeeper. Long Marhetic toss, or toss to Marhetic, but he was going to the right and there's nobody there. Now on the right side, Rundved from Chris White. 7th All-Star appearance for Kim Rundved, 6 in a row. Chris White leading, getting behind the defense. Davis bumped by Vaccaro, who gets the ball, and the crowd was hoping for a couple of minutes there. And back the other way comes Craig Allen. He's by himself, plays it back now to Richard Chinapu, as the referee S.C. Bahamas has to get out of the way. Haskeby over the line. Savage breaks for the box. 3-0, the West leading at 5:04 to go. The turner on Marinaro, and it's blocked out of play by Zoltan Toth. Marinaro trying to make things happen there for the East, who could use a goal just to get some spark going.
Absolutely, they really need it because they're shell-shocked at the moment, and defensively they're really hurting. You saw Rick Davis run through the entire team there to get at the end of a pass from Chris White, and it was a very obvious thing that was going to happen, and nobody tracked him down until the last desperate second. There you see Steve Jungle. They say 2 assists tonight, but I don't think you really can give him an assist in the second goal. I don't know if they've done it officially, but
we'll have to check that out. At least initially they didn't do that. Last one, I thought the last one has to be unassisted, I would have thought, but we'll wait and see. Savage going long for David Byrne. David Byrne, one of the reasons the Strikers are tied for first with Cleveland in the East. And there's another reason. Marinaro out to Savage. Back for Hector Marinaro. 30 goals already this season. Trying to play it across, broken up by Chris White, and now taken back. Chris White of the Lasers leads right into space. There's Segota, bad ankle and all. He'll get to that. Savage defending. Bronco trying to play it back, but Savage knocked it away for David Byrne. Byrne was going to go back to goal. Segota tries to block that angle, and finally Byrne makes the play back to Vaccaro.
Well, I think Ron Newman winces every time he sees a physical challenge on Segota, because he's got an important 3-game road trip coming up with the Sockers, and they certainly don't want to lose any of that wonderful ground that they've managed to establish for themselves at the top of the Western Division.
This is Dale Mitchell the other way with a 3-0 West lead. They're cruising to Borja, right side to Duran. Duran of the Steamers being picked up by Armstrong. Out to the right point it comes. Now it's Clavijo from San Diego to Borja. Try to get it in. Chico may get it back himself. 2 players on him, in some trouble. Knocked away and a foul called on the East. Their second. Now it's Duran. Right side to Borja. Chico played it in, a shot, score! Mitchell on a deflection. And it's West, West, and more West. 4-0.
Well, that is vintage finishing by Mitchell. People say, you know, he doesn't have a great shot from outside with both feet and all these kinds of things. What's wrong with his game? Well, what's right with his game is that he's always in terrific position. And that's what the great goal scorers always have, is that instinct for the goal. And you showed us right there how he does it.
So Dale Mitchell will pick up his first career All-Star goal. The West in control.
With every Budweiser enjoyed, the promise endures. The promise of genuine quality. Quality you can taste. Clean, crisp, Beechwood aged Budweiser. Always certain, always satisfying. Because we know you wouldn't have it any other way. That's why this Bud's for you.
Okay, we're going to take a look at this. Nice little flick there by, very good job by Duran. Now look at Borja. He doesn't even look up, puts it in a little back flick there between letting the ball roll and then just flicking it in. Very nice touch by Dale Mitchell indeed. Surprising the goalkeeper Vaccaro. I don't think he sees it until it's too late. Here we go, Borja again. Nice crossbar, a little back flick, and all of a sudden Vaccaro, who got to the near post to protect it, as he must do, is victimized at the far post by that man, Dale Mitchell, his first appearance and his first goal.
And as we look at Dale Mitchell, this is the very first time he's been named an All-Star. Should have been named before, but he finally got that reward. We talked to Dale about what it meant to him.
Well, I'm obviously very happy about it. You know, the game being in Tacoma makes it a little bit more special because I've played most of my career in the Pacific Northwest, and I started off my MISL career in Tacoma, so to actually make the game when it's in Tacoma makes it that much more special.
And as we come back, Zoltan Toth reaches back to stop that one. 4-0, the West in complete control. And I can't remember an All-Star game over the last 3 or 4 years that's gone quite this way. Certainly not the last couple we've done. Frecky to the outside, knocked away. Clear it out into the neutral zone, and Rundved is there. Jungle. We'll be taking some look back, some kind of a look back at a couple of previous All-Star games a little bit later on in our telecast. Hope you'll enjoy some things that have happened in previous All-Star games. Here's Precky to the corner, and he's broken up. Back the other way, Kinsey. Bothered by Jungle. Stankovic. Left footer, wide. Stankovic playing for the East in his previous 3 appearances. Jungle right back. Stankovic, here's the Lord of Indoors. In front, it's blocked. Precky, Jungle coming in. Heads it wide. He was looking to pass, and now Vaccaro picks it up. But the East defensively appear to be lost there. Up the right side to Pato Marhetic. Picked up, played in, and almost knocked in. Makes it, almost gave up. Zoltan Toth shut it right there. 2:16 to go here in the first. It's a 4-0 West lead. Coming up tomorrow night, San Diego at Baltimore as we get back to the regular season. Dallas at Minnesota, Los Angeles at St. Louis, Kansas City at Wichita, Chicago at Tacoma. Saturday, Cleveland plays at Dallas, Los Angeles is at Kansas City. Sunday, St. Louis at Baltimore, San Diego is at Cleveland, Chicago visits Minnesota, Tacoma plays at Wichita. Coming up next week, San Diego's at Chicago Tuesday, Baltimore at Dallas same day, KC at St. Louis, LA at Tacoma. And that rounds out the schedule as it's cleared out of play. Still a 4-0 lead for the West. There's a rest of the week. Kansas City at St. Louis on Wednesday, LA at Tacoma Wednesday, and Thursday, Wichita plays in Los Angeles. Restart far side, out to Heinz Wirtz. To Marhetic, 2:08 to go. First quarter, West with a 4-0 lead. Marhetic against Davis. Sent to the far boards, Craig Allen. Tries to put it under control, now out to Wirtz. Started his indoor career with Baltimore. Off the boards, he wanted Kevin Smith. Denied there by Eric Rasmussen. Rasmussen up now for Segota. Bronco to the left side for Crow. Now back for Davis. That last goal was Mitchell's first All-Star goal from Chico Borja at 11:31. Borja with a goal and an assist. Right side, Clavijo. Wow. Takes a couple of bumps there. It comes free. Here's a big shot, Segota. That may have dented the boards.
But you saw there why Clavijo is such a tough defender. He was not moved off the ball there. He steadied himself, took the shock, and his marker went down.
Ball played back into the neutral zone. Wirtz to Savage for Haskavy. Haskavy holding. Playing it in. Broken up. Blocked on the play. We've got a foul called. And this one will go.
We should mention, of course, that one of the great figures missing from this East Side this season is Tattoo, out for the year with an unfortunate injury, and of course that's hurt Dallas a lot, but it hurts the East Side tonight too.
And it's hurt the whole league all year in attendance. Rasmussen playing it in. Nice turn by Davis to Segota. Bronco on the right foot against Marinaro, plays it across. Davis to the left point. Kevin Crow. Rundved. So many great years with Wichita. Now this year signed as a free agent with the Kansas City Comets. That was a great signing for that club. Now in second place in the MISL's West. Segota playing it in for Davis. Vaccaro got a piece. Davis sends it in far post. Now Haskavy sends it back to Vaccaro. It's been all West. That score is not at all misleading. Up the right side, it's 4-0 West with the edge. Most goals in one quarter, 5 by the West in 81. They're threatening to come up to that mark again. Here's a quick steal. The turnaround to go to 2-on-1. Right side with Mitchell. Over the line. Back for Bronco. A slow pass. He'll have to wait for it. Got behind Bird. Vaccaro with a block. Net empty. Durant shot block. Handball penalty. They're going to say he touched it outside the box.
Yeah.
2 minutes.
Not much doubt about that. Vaccaro very obviously blocking the ball with his hands here when he's outside the area. Players all appealing, and the referee gives it. Well, what a blow indeed for this club with East Club with 2 seconds to go in the first period, and they're just on the ropes at this point.
Well, as if the West needed more help, right? Now they're going to have a power play. Gordon Jago, you just saw, and Timo Liakowski probably watching in disbelief, but that's what can happen in all-star games. Chris Vaccaro making his first career all-star appearance. And he's not had a lot of support back there, although one of the goals he gave up on his bad clearing attempt. And normally that's a Vaccaro strong point, but those things happen when the best in the East meet the best in the West. Craig Allen going over to the penalty box. He will serve the 2 minutes. All you've got is 2 seconds here, but that's time enough for the West to score, especially when Jungle is the guy that has the first touch on the ball. And he'll have Rasmussen to look at, or Borja. If you look at Craig Allen in the box, played in quickly, and it's knocked out. There was Zoltan Toth who was in there. Zoli was looking for a goal. So at the end of one quarter, the East is going to be happy. They've got a break. They can talk about it. Everything going wrong for the East. The West on 2 goals by Preki, 1 by Borja, and Mitchell lead by 4.
Panda America, your international dealer for modern coin portfolios. Call 1-800-4PANDAS.
Good evening. Wall Street ended the day on the downside with the Dow Jones Industrial Average down 14.5 points at the close to 1936.41. Across the broader market, the S&P 500 was down 1.30. Declining issues outpaced those advancing by a margin of 6 to 5, and the price of an average share lost 13 cents on the New York Stock Exchange. Over on the American Exchange, the price of an average share there was down 5 cents. Bonds were higher on the day. The dollar was also marginally higher. Gold dropped $3.10 an ounce. Silver was off 9.5 cents. And over at the Mercantile Exchange, crude oil dropped again, losing 16 cents a barrel. In Chicago, stock index futures sustained small to moderate losses. And in Washington, President Reagan presented his new and final budget to Congress. It outlines a $1.1 trillion spending plan for the next fiscal year. And now, this.
In a world where every day brings greater wonders, one event stands triumphant: the Olympic Games. This February, you can share the wonder and help our athletes achieve the goal of Olympic victory. Presenting the only official coins of the Calgary 1988 Winter Games, Olympic competition captured in sterling silver, with part of the proceeds helping to support the Games. 10 sports, 10 coins, superbly crafted by the Royal Canadian Mint. Order now from Panda America. Call toll-free 1-800-472-6327. Receive this display case with the complete collection. Each coin $32. Call 1-800-472-6327 and share the wonder. Share the glory.
Welcome back to a shootout Western style. The West leading it 4-0, and the last time they shut out the East in the first quarter came back a couple years ago in Chicago. They won it 5-3. Right now, it's our pleasure to review the first decade All-Star team. This was a team voted on by people who have been connected with the league for 10 years. Jungle on the top of it with Segota, Haskovic, Stan Stamekovic, and Julie V. At the back, Kim Rundved, Fernando Clavijo, and Mike Stankovic. A lot of these people were here anyway as members of the All-Star team. And the goalkeepers, 2 of the very best. Slobo Ilievsky holds a lot of records. Zoltan Toth may get some of those away from Slobo. And the head coach, the guy who's won more games in the MISL than any other coach, Kenny Cooper. We salute all of those people for going through 10 years, or going through the league, not 10 years, but going through the league and being so successful. They had to play at least 4 years to be eligible. Let's take a look at the highlights, and it's all West, Seamus.
Yes, indeed. The quick release from Zoltan Toth out here, setting Preki off, turning Smith inside where there's a lot of space, turning him outside, then inside, and then just burying it under Vaccaro's hands. The ball seemed to dip a little bit on Chris Vaccaro, but that's why Preki is so great. And that came very early in the game at 2:58. In fact, they gave the assist to Clavijo. We thought it was Zoltan Toth, but we'll say Clavijo. There's Borja with a shot off the little touch from Steve Jungle at 6:25. That put the West up by 2 on a set piece from that far right side. Pretty easy stuff indeed to defense, you would think, but on the other hand, a little bit of a lapse and a breakdown there between Smith and Bruce Savage as you look back up. Now here's a bad mistake by Chris Vaccaro, who's had a tough first period, giving the ball away to, of all people, Preki in Tacoma. And he says, thanks a lot, Chris. Here's number 3, bang, in the corner at 7:45. And officially they have given an assist to Jungle on that, but we're not sure if that's going to stay, so we'll hang on that final word for that for a while. The West up 3 by then, but there was more to come, incredibly. 4th goal, Mitchell. It gets into a good position in the middle of the board, doesn't even look up, touches it in, a little back flick, and Chris Vaccaro cannot react to the far post quickly enough. And at 11:31, they're up by 4. And to add insult to injury, they gave up a penalty with 2 seconds to go, and they're now, the East is a man down because Vaccaro handled the ball outside the area.
We're here at the Tacoma Dome in Tacoma, Washington, and what a great time everyone has had here in the Pacific Northwest. A lot of great hospitality as given to us. Here's a look at the shots. It's all West 11-3. Stats, the only thing that the East is leading in right there are the saves and the blocks and the fouls, but those don't count like the goals and the shots do there. Mitchell on the power play. Right across to Rasmussen. This is an arsenal of talent on the man advantage. Rasmussen cutting. He can do it all with that ball. Finds Preki, and he'll put that one downtown. That one's headed for Seattle, maybe not even in Tacoma.
Well, it's an array of talent, of offensive talent out there on the power play. You're right, JP, that is intimidating. But it's intimidating even without the power play. And this is the big fear that the coaching staff had indeed when they're facing this Western side. There's so much offensive power. And that's a big change in the league, I think, in the past. You know, you could kill a lot of the talent with good, strong defensive play in the past. I don't think you can do that anymore. In the All-Star game, the skill and the talent now, the attacking players, is just too good.
Ball is coming all the way back to Zoltan Toth. Now for Chico Borja. Played indoors with Wichita. Prior to that, Las Vegas. Of course, with the New York Cosmos. Preki already with a good night. Couple of goals. Number 11 leads the MISL in scoring. Second in goals overall to Segota. Right side Borja, and he'll put that one upstairs as well. Now, although they will practice this, the set pieces and maybe a little bit on the power play, they don't really have that much of a chance to work it out. And lots of times when you have all that kind of talent and it doesn't mesh, the key word is actually chemistry. And it's hard to get that chemistry when you're only practicing a few days, although that score seems to indicate that the West certainly has some chemistry. They lead it by the score of 4-0. Right now, it's time to take a look at our Leaks 10 team. These are people connected with the league for all 10 seasons. Keith Van Aaron, Doc Lawson, Dave McKenzie are players. Mitch Burke, the deputy commissioner in the league office. Paul Garofolo, general manager of the Cleveland Force. Gino DiPolito, who's the referee out on the floor and who was a referee in the first year. We salute our Leaks MISL 10, or the 10 team. They each received a very nice plaque with their picture on it yesterday in a very nice luncheon ceremony here in Tacoma. Now it's Borja coming back for Eric Rasmussen. Left side, he'll get it back from Preki. Pressure put on there by Armstrong. Desmond, a #1 draft choice a couple of years ago from the University of Maryland. He'll get this one back from Kevin Smith. Savage cuts to the box. Not a bad group of penalty killers out there either. We talked about the power play. Right side, Kevin Smith. For Armstrong, 20 seconds or 29 seconds left on the man advantage for the West. And right now it looks like the East has the man advantage. Now they give it up. Rasmussen back near midfield. A 4-0 West lead, 13:20 to go in the second quarter. Jungle to Rasmussen. Left side, Preki against Armstrong. Far post, Jungle heads it down and just getting by Dale Mitchell. Right idea from Jungle. Up the far side boards. Now Kevin Smith against Rasmussen. Kevin wants to cut it to the middle. And now they've killed off the penalty, so he'll come back with it. Giving it up to Chinapu, who's just come on. Richard's third straight All-Star game from the Baltimore Blast. Lawson up for Allen. He'll lay it off. Chinapu on the run. Richard Chinapu tees it up, almost gets by the short side. And now it's White. He'll give it up. Hoskovy from Chinapu. Richard just getting it on the right foot. Didn't get that ball the way he'd like to.
No, it was played a bit too far in front of him. In fact, surprising that Savage Oh, it wasn't Savage. I guess it was Husky who gave him that not that good a ball. Here he comes, though. Oops.
He'll put this one way upstairs. So the East off to a sluggish start, but they did kill off the penalty. West leads 4-0 here in Tacoma.
Hi, I'm John Losing.
And I'm Randy Hahn, inviting you to watch MISL Week every Wednesday here on SCORE.
You know, the Major Indoor Soccer League is celebrating its 10th anniversary this year, and SCORE is taking part, not only with our live Friday night game of the week,
but also with our MISL Week show as we bring you highlights and action from around the league.
And we'll take you behind the scenes to meet the personalities and show you the indoor soccer goal of the week, and some of them are pretty incredible, Randy.
We think MISL Week is too, John, so watch MISL Week Wednesdays at 9 Eastern right here on SCORE.
Budweiser welcomes you back to our All-Star game with this flashback from 1 year ago in Los Angeles. Chinapoo now to Tattoo. Tattoo on the boards, blocked. It was Houskeby that was there. Here's Stankovic, and he scores. It's tied with 20 seconds to go.
Well, I think that's really justified. Stankovic has had a great game of the whole match. He's been wonderful. I think he's done some super things on defense. He's advanced the ball beautifully. He's done intelligent passing, and now he ties it up for the East.
And thank you, Budweiser, the king of beers, for that flashback to the All-Star game a year ago, and that was an exciting one, a close game and a great finish. 20 seconds left when Stankovic scored, and then 32 seconds into overtime, Kai Houskeby ended up winning the game for the East. And he was the Budweiser most valuable player. Segota the other way with a 4-0 West lead. Bronco going against Chinapoo, plays it in off Stankovic. Out it comes Rundved, now to Jungle. Back for Kim Rundved. Stankovic left point. The East is unfortunate in that they've lost Stankovic. He played for them for quite a few years, and he was the guy last year that actually got the game tying goal, as we showed you on that flashback. But now he's on the West, and they've got the 4-0 lead. Bronco, right footer off the left post and out of play. Look at the velocity of a shot like that. It just sailed off the post and then right out of play. Quite a distance from Bronco Segota, who leads the MISL in goals and is now the second all-time scorer, third all-time in all-star scoring with 12 points coming into this game.
Well, the problem that the East has got, obviously, is that they're still faced with enormous offensive power against them. They obviously want to try to put something on the board at the other end and get into this thing, but they also are afraid of the lethal counter-attacking potential of these very, very fast and skillful players. So committing themselves to attack wholeheartedly can only end up in being punished if they're not careful.
And a foul as players disappear from view. Foul will go on the West. It'll be the first foul of the quarter. Long ball left side, David Byrne trying to get it under control. Kick by Rundved off Stankovic, handball off Mike Stankovic. A handball infraction. And they'll bring it outside, just right outside the box.
Well, it may see the handball there, yes. See it coming off Stankovic's hand. Referees decide that is a violation, and here we have the free kick.
David Byrne and Victor Moreland over the ball. Byrne plays it out. Verts the shot deflected. Took went back. Rebounded by Byrne, and he couldn't get it home as it was blocked. Rasmussen on the go over midfield. 4-on-4. Left side. Stankovic to Rasmussen. He looked back for it. It ends up to Rundved. And now out to Crow in the neutral zone. Rundved comes back to help out. Marinaro and Moreland putting the pressure on. They force a bad pass, but Crow is there to send it back for Zoltan Toth. Lifting it over midfield. Now it's picked up again by Rundved as Segota heads for an open space. Here's Crow getting it. Left footer, trying to play it back. He was looking for Segota, knocked out of play. And the West will maintain possession. You know, just as quickly as the West can score 4 goals, the East can do that as well, even though on paper they don't have as much offensive firepower. But it can be done, but they need to get one to feel that they can do it.
Well, here's a look at that replay. You see the ball coming through, and Toth has to react and turn away from the way he was going. And Byrne just gets a bad break in the bounce, can't quite get over it and knock it in for the first East goal as they still struggle to get a goal.
Jungo finds White through that maze of traffic. Out to Borja, who already has done some great things out there on the floor. Chico with 1 goal and 1 assist. Chris White over the line, picked up by Verts. Left side, Rasmussen. West with that 4-0 lead. Back out to Chris White. Keeping control is the West. Megson to White. Back there with help from Rick Davis. In deep for Borja. taken down by David Byrne. So, restart coming up for the West. Quickly it goes out. It's a good block by Burtz. Davis appeared to have a good angle on that. Moreland bumps with White. Now the East will get it with Hector Marinaro. 34 goals with Minnesota. And White takes it away to Rick Davis. Davis over midfield. And we've got a time as Heinz Burtz may have hurt himself. Was he over by that wet spot as well when he had gone?
Well, he, of course, blocked the shot, as you mentioned, of Rick Davis, and I think he's just still smarting from that.
Well, Aaron Galpert, the trainer from the East, the trainer for the Cleveland Force, will tend to Heinz Burtz as we remind you that coming up, our next TV game will be tomorrow night when the San Diego Sockers visit the Baltimore Blast. The Sockers have got the best record in the Major Indoor Soccer League. They're starting to look like the San Diego Sockers of old. It's a 4-0 lead. The West in complete control. Preki with 2, Borja 1, and Mitchell with the other. We'll be back.
If you don't need Gatorade this winter, maybe you just don't get thirsty.
Gatorade is thirsty for that deep down body of thirst.
It's fast, it's fierce, it's kickboxing, and it's coming to Score. Beginning March 7th, the Coors Battle of Champions Series will feature top International Sport Karate Association contenders battling for a title shot against their division champs. Remember, March 7th, you won't want to miss a single exciting minute. Feet and fists will be flying furiously to see who is really #1 in this sports exclusive, brought to you by F&N Score.
As we look at Steve Jungle, the leading scorer in All-Star history with 16 points, and he has been named the Player of the Decade in the MISL. The only award that he has not won is the All-Star MVP award. And hopefully we'll get a chance to hear from him later about the challenge of perhaps winning it here tonight in front of the home crowd. In the corner, West still with it with Davis. He's broken up. Savage is there. It's kicked away now by the East, and a foul call as Kevin Smith was in there working hard. Smith in his 4th year. He's an original Dallas sidekick. His play has improved every single year, and this year he leads the sidekicks in assists. Batata.
It was a good piece of play by Kevin Smith over there, by the way. I think, you know, putting the pressure on Rick Davis and then winning the ball back. They've got to have some of that scrappy, they've got to win some contests. They've got to win some one-on-one situations. They've got to have some things go for them in order to get their confidence going and getting back into the game here. It's just simply not going their way. They can't get passes together.
Batata against Crow, and a 4-0 West lead. Batata double teamed. He knocks it away on the right to Savage. Bruce Savage, the defender of the year and the Blast MVP a year ago, to Kevin Smith. All the way back, neutral zone, Lawson looking for Kinsey. He's picked up by Megson, played out, and now it's taken back by the West. Crow, nice move around Lawson. Lawson fights to get it back. Crow fighting equally hard. Wins it for Borja. Over the line. He's got Mitchell the other way. 2-on-3. Borja the shot high off the glass and wide. Borja, one of those players, though, that can actually do something in a man disadvantage. Even though that time it was 2-on-3, he almost had something. Batata leaves it off. Pato Marhetic with a lot of flair from the Chicago Sting. Outside the shot, and he just missed the far post. Great move to the outside to get himself open for a right-footed shot. Duran plays it across to Crow, and then back for Zoltan Toth. Remember, Toth had been playing so well last year in the All-Star game, and then with 20 seconds to go, that's when the goal was scored, and then he gave up the other one, but he had made 11 saves, and several of them were outstanding saves. Toth lifting it long, and over midfield, it's off the head of Craig Allen. He'll have to come back for it. He's the last guy back there. Plays it back to Vaccaro. Chris Vaccaro tied with Mike Dowler and Tino Lettieri with 15 wins this season. Off the boards. Played out to Duran. Crow for Preki. Tackled away. Good job, actually, by Craig Allen. Now it's sent back the other way. Jungle going up there against Chinapoo, Steve Jungle, who recently this season picked up his 1,000th career point regular season. This is Preki again. He wants to go inside, just knocked away. A Durant shot is blocked. A lot of people say that Preki always goes left. Not quite true. And when you think he's going to go left, he'll pull that move on you to the right. He almost got open for a great chance.
Well, a foul called on Chris White there, who feels that he didn't do anything, that Marhetic just simply lost his footing. But Pato pretty adept at drawing these fouls. Let's take a look here. If Pato does indeed throw, well, there's a little bit of a bump in there by Chris. Yep.
Fourth foul in the West. This is Marhetic. East needs a goal. Here comes Chinapoo. The shot cleared. It looked like it hit off either White or maybe the post. Here's Marhetic, a shot, and Zolli makes that save. Zoltan Toth with a beauty. Armstrong stops it, or else Jungle would have had a breakaway. Now it's Marhetic with Chinapoo left. It's played by Haskeby off the boards, and the West will get the good bounce. Here comes Preki. Sees what he's got and takes off. He's got Clavijo racing by everyone to the right. Left side pass, Rasmussen in front, score! Clavijo may get credit for it. He was right there at the post. 5-0, the West.
Well, that's just the counter-attacking I was talking about, JP. The East really had a bit of a flurry going down there at this end. They got a couple of shots off and put some players forward into the offensive zone, but in the end, of course, the danger is that you lose or you leave some space behind you into which you can be victimized by a good counter-attacking team. And here's the counter-attacking team we're talking about as Clavijo makes the overlapping run on the right, and then Preki cleverly plays it over to the other side, and Rasmussen touches it over, and it's very easy for Clavijo to put it away. Classic fast break here with filling the lanes right, center, and left. Preki doing the surprising thing and playing it across Armstrong. And a very unselfish play by Rasmussen, setting up Clavijo for the 5th goal.
Well, if you're a racehorse, you'd bet money on him. He's the fastest player in the MISL, and he showed you what his speed could do right there as he scores his first career All-Star goal. The West 5, the East 0. We'll be back.
Hi, I'm John Losing.
And I'm Hank Cashua.
And we bring you skiing each week here on Score. Hank, you do a little bit of skiing, don't you?
I have once or twice, John.
He's being modest. He's a former World Pro Champion, a 2-time Olympian. He's the expert here on the show.
But we'll have more than just skiing on Skiing. We'll have winter recreation at its finest. We'll have special guests, and give us a call on our toll-free number.
And don't forget our weekly conditions report as well. That's skiing every Wednesday at 10:30 Eastern Time, 7:30 Pacific on Score.
Welcome back, everyone. While we were away, the East scored their first goal 14 seconds after the West had gotten a 5-0 lead. David Byrne with his first All-Star goal. We'll check out the assist in a moment for you.
I think it was Hector Marinaro. It was the little combination of the strikers up there. And, of course, that's what they hoped to get, but they had precious little of that combination play between players on the same team.
Marinaro plays it across and a score again. Byrne. So that's a quick strike. David Byrne from Hector Marinaro. The same combination clicking, and actually with the help of Mike Sweeney in Minnesota, they've been responsible for 40% of the Strikers' offense.
Well, just as we were saying that they weren't getting the combination, here they got a couple of goals within a minute. And we're taking a look at the second goal now, the one just scored. Left there by Armstrong. Marinaro sees the space, puts it between Chris White's legs, and Stankovic arrives too late to do anything about Byrne, who does exactly what you must do, which is get behind the defense. Now that happened also a minute ago because that same man, Byrne, got at the end of this Marinaro touch across and just touched it in as Chris White wasn't able to close him down fast enough. So Byrne doing what all good goal scorers must do, which is to get into good positions as we saw Mitchell doing in the first period, and now Byrne twice from Marinaro to at least make this a little bit more competitive now.
And we'll have to check the record books. 2 goals in 27 seconds by the same player, David Byrne. His first and second All-Star goals as Kevin Crow breaks it up. Left side now Segota for Crow. That sets the West back a little bit anyway, 5-2. But some momentum perhaps here by the East. Batata has it kicked away by Segota. Kinsey almost gets it. And now Toth will pick it up at the edge of his box area. Rolls left to Davis. Now it's Segota. Great move to the middle. Bronco leading it. Left side from Mitchell. Stops it, now gets free in the corner off the boards. Quick shot, great save. Chris Vaccaro with an outstanding save that time as Segota broke down the middle. Now it's Batata for Kinsey. The game starts to open up here for both sides. Before it was just one side. As the West took a commanding 5-0 lead. Played in now by Verts for his teammate Batata, but Kroll blocks that. A whistle from somewhere. They're going to call that one on the East, though.
Yeah, Batata with the push there, trying to make some headway against Kevin Crow, which is not an easy task.
Nope, not against the soccer's Budweiser most valuable player from a year ago. 4th consecutive All-Star game for Kevin Crow. Ball played back now by Clavijo to Zoltan Toth. Right side, Borja drawing a bead on Heinz Wirtz, lays it off. Kevin Crow looking for Borja, played across, great save again, but Carl with the left hand. And a good thing there were players around that box, including Dale Mitchell. Now knocked ahead. Kevin Smith was looking for it.
Yeah, I think he felt he was impeded as he went for the return ball on the obstruction.
He was looking for a foul on Borja, but he didn't get it.
Vaccaro, yeah, excuse me, I think Vaccaro is injured in that flurry in the goal area there when Mitchell was trying to get that diving header.
Vaccaro looked like he got it with his left hand. He may have gotten a piece of someone's body. He may have gotten a foot or perhaps even the ball in the face area. Looks like he's holding the left side of his face. Talking to Aaron Galpert, his former trainer when the two were together in Cleveland. Galpert's still there, but Vaccaro, as we mentioned earlier, now a member of the Chicago Sting and doing quite well with that club. 15 wins, 12 losses, and a 3.55 goals against average. Let's watch the Chris Vaccaro show as he kept the West off the board.
Myers Mitchell doing a good job against Chinapoo, getting the ball across, and I think it's Rick Davis coming in, but also Segota with the shot, and the good save by Vaccaro. Segota had made a great run down the way, beating Victor Moreland with a great piece of work. Now here we go again with Crow to Borja. Borja touching it in, and this is where the collision takes place as Mitchell hits him in the head with his knee as he goes by him, trying to dive and head that one in from the nice little soft floating cross in there by Chico Borja.
As we saw it the second time, he didn't get it, did he? The goalkeeper. Did Vaccaro get a piece of that?
I don't think so, no.
I thought he did originally, but right there it looked like it missed him. But here's a look at Vaccaro. Goalkeepers do get banged around in this game. In the right corner, Borja. 5-2, the West on top. Players battling away. Won by Kevin Smith, and on the right side it's Craig Allen. Marhetic starts a run in the middle. Allen now pressured by Borja and White, the two lasers. Deflected away, and Marhetic sees it before White. White almost got it with the long legs. Here's Allen, a man open. Cut back too much for Kevin Smith. May have been a partial deflection as well.
Oh, unfortunate indeed. Allen did very well on that, looking around first before he put the cross in, but Smith kept on going instead of holding his position at the top.
Smith will give it out now to Heinz Wirtz. Looking for Pato. Pato, nice turn on the right against White, but those long legs get in there and make the play. Clavijo is blocked. East can't keep the pressure on, and a good block the other way.
Ooh.
Look what Armstrong would have had to defend
Absolutely.
against Jungle and Borja. Left side, Kevin Smith now to Marhetic. Pato, top of the arc, cuts outside, left footer. Saved by Zoltan Toth, and he knocked it down right in front of him and controlled the rebound. So that shows you some of the skill and the danger of a Pato Marhetic. Back for Chris White. The only rookie named last year to the All-Star team. This is a giveaway by the West as the East plays it off the boards, far post. Nobody home for the East. Jungle off the boards, and the West is going to break back. And how quickly they come on the counterattack. Stankovic over the line. 4-on-3. Right side. Preki with a couple of goals already. Lost it in the corner. And now Jungle will get it back for him. Jungle played it in. He wanted Preki. It's blocked. And the East will get it with Kai Haskavy. Had a 19-game scoring streak to start the season off on a positive note. Looks for Byrne. What a great play by Rundved with Byrne trying to get open on the wing. West coming back. Preki to the middle. Now to the outside. Good feed, Rundved. Kim Rundved takes the shot. Blocked by Marinaro. Rundved will get it back. 2:48 to go before the half. 5-2. The West leading it. 2 goals by David Byrne. 27 seconds apart. The last 2 unanswered. That brought the East back from a 5-0 deficit. Makes it with a header. Goes wide of everyone, and David Byrne comes back, leaves it off for Haskavy. Up for Byrne on the left against Kevin Crow. A foot race, and Crow will win this one. West with 4 fouls, and the East with just a couple. As Toth gives it up to Crow. Now to Mike Stankovic. Stankovic beats Batata to midfield. West with that 3-goal lead, but at one point it was 5. Preki sends it up.
Great
Good one.
pass.
Stankovic. Good vision to just spot him, and then he delivered it. All the way back now to Vaccaro.
Preki thinking he's going to be able to break Megson there. They, of course, play for the same team, and he almost pulled it off. So 2 very fine pieces of passing there by Preki, showing us that he is a true all-star, not just a great finisher, but a nice touch on the ball for long passes.
Batata over the line against Rick Davis. Cutting, he wanted the give and go, but it never gets there. Preki off the boards. Against Victor Moreland. To the middle, stepped around him. Preki with that nice move. He's got Davis left, Crow right. Preki to the outside, beats one defender, plays it in the box. Great touch by Davis. What a nifty touch by Rick Davis, but it just doesn't go for him. Right to the right side of Vaccaro. That would have been spectacular.
It would have been a fine goal. Ricky, of course, in an awkward position there as the ball came into him, and maybe he didn't realize he wasn't marked either, but he had to do something with it really quickly. You don't have much time to stand around and think in there.
How about Preki? Looks like he's going to take the shot, and he cuts it in hard and fast into the corner and into the box area to Rick Davis. And we've got a foul on the East. It'll be their third. Kinsey gets the foul. Kevin Crow will put it in play. Looking and finding Rick Davis. Back for Zoltan Toth. Long throw. He already has one assist up for Rasmussen. Less than a minute to go in the first half. Rasmussen fakes to go outside, leaves it off for Segota. Broken up. Kevin Smith battling along the right boards, and that's going to draw the foul, the fifth one on the West. That's against Rasmussen. So the West in foul trouble. They'll try to avoid that sixth foul if they can. 44 seconds to do it. Batata, right side, has it knocked away, and it was last touched apparently by the West. There's a look at the Eastern bench. Gordon Jago talking things over to the troops. His team rallying from a 5-0 deficit. There's Alan Hinton, his team right now still in the driver's seat, but they did have at one point that 5-0 edge, and the East just couldn't do anything right. But then David Byrne, two quick ones, 27 seconds apart. East ball was last touched out by the West. Marhetic against Duran. To the outside comes Pato. Right corner. Looking to play it across, but Zoltan Toth reacts well with Allen right there. Zoltan's going to throw long, but it's blocked by Chinapu. Up now for Hoskevy. Down to 18 seconds. Kai getting free for the moment. Now draws two. Trying to bang it up the boards. It comes across. Chinapu has to hurry for it. 13 seconds. Richard Chinapu to the corner. They try to play it across. It's blocked by Mitchell. He'll get it in front of him for Segota. 6 seconds over midfield. To Mitchell, he's got time, 2 seconds. Mitchell the corner, he'll score! Dale Mitchell, no time on the clock, but that'll count. 6-2 the West. Dale Mitchell let it go, and the ball went in, and then in the last second, time ran out. He let it go with what looked like 2 seconds left, and as it went in, I'm sure he got that one in time. 6-2 the West.
What a heartbreak here for the East. We're looking at the clock now in the bottom right-hand corner, but a good ball through to Mitchell. You see the clock, 3, 2, 1. He's going to let it go. There's one, and the ball hits the line and crosses over. Now it's a goal, no question about it. It crossed the line before the clock changed to 0, and that means it's a goal. It's not when you shoot it, it's when it goes in.
And that means that they'll count it at 14:59, 1 second away from the end of the half, and the West has something to celebrate at halftime. They're up 6-2.
Okay, listen up. Oakley here is filling in for ball tonight.
For 3 years, Bill Oakley took orders. But tonight, he's got to stand up and take charge.
You make America work.
Here's to you, the clean, crisp taste of Beechwood-aged Budweiser. For all the guys who know it's not what you say, but what you do.
Not even close. Mike Warren knows the score. At least 25 points. Okay. And now Mike Warren is on Score, America's premier sports handicapper on Beat the Pros, Friday nights on Score.
I feel like I'm praying for everybody.
Every week, Mike analyzes the big games, then makes his picks before a national TV audience.
All I have to say is the guys in Vegas, please don't get sick. Hold the money for me. I'll be there soon.
Take a look back at some of the biggest upsets in sporting history. It's Beat the Pros, Friday nights on Score.
Okay, pal, this is where we start.
This bud's for all that you do.
This is where we start? Papers say you busted it up pretty good. Too fancy for you, huh?
Come on. You've got a long road back. Come on. You miss the cheers. One more. Can you beat those doubts and fears?
Ready? Not today. Don't you mean never? Ready?
Make America work. For that something that won't let us quit. The clean, crisp taste of Beechwood aged Budweiser.
Till your first game back. Thanks, buddy.
This Bud's for you.
Live Community Back to the Tacoma Dome in Tacoma, Washington. John Paul Della Camera along with Seamus Mallon. It's a 6-2 West win. Right now, let's throw things over to our public address announcer for a special awards presentation.
Thanks again to Ivar Quigley and MetLife. And now let's go down to the field to MetLife's Ivar Quigley.
$500 for the further development of the Drugs Are a Drag program. Congratulations, Joe, and the Joe All-Stars.
Congratulations to Joe Waters, the Drugs Are a Drag program. He's saluted by Ivar Quigley, the manager of sports programs for MetLife. When we told you at the outset of the game that there was great hospitality here in Tacoma and everybody was treating us well, we meant it. Right now, it's our pleasure to show you just what a beautiful city Tacoma, Washington is as we take a look.
Tacoma, Washington, host of the MISL All-Star Game. It's all happening here in the Tacoma Dome, home of the Tacoma Stars. Tacoma loves soccer. The city exploded last year when the Stars captured the MISL Western Division Championship. Now Tacoma proudly welcomes the 1988 All-Star Game and invites you to take a closer look at this dynamic West Coast city. High on a steep peninsula jutting out into Puget Sound, surrounded by mountain ranges, dense forests, and fertile farmlands, the city of Tacoma is a spectacular home. To the east, 14,000-foot Mount Rainier crowns the Cascade Range. To the west, the rugged silhouettes of the Olympic Mountains rim the sky. And all around are the peaceful waters of the Sound. Tacoma is the industrial and financial center of southern Puget Sound. Its natural deep water harbor has made an ideal home for the Port of Tacoma, one of the top 10 ports in the nation. The port handles everything from lumber to automobiles and is a major gateway for trade with the Far East. Downtown, Tacoma's Renaissance rings out all over town. Attracting new business and expanding the skyline, the area still retains its turn-of-the-century charm. Progress and preservation. Tacoma's energetic growth hasn't sacrificed the finer things in life. From the ferry dock to a wooded park, from classic Victorian to modern townhouses, Tacoma's neighborhoods are picturesque and pleasant. There are miles of waterfront with parks and piers, restaurants and roller skaters. And best of all, Tacoma is part of the great Pacific Northwest. The deep mystery of the rainforests, adventure on the Sound, the mountain in flower or snow. In wintertime, the Cascades offer some of the finest skiing in the nation. In summertime, Puget Sound sparkles with boats, and the city's many parks come alive with music and flowers and all kinds of adventure. And for entertainment, there's the Tacoma Dome. Now, when you see this kind of excitement, you'll understand Tacoma fans really do have a lot to cheer about.